fear, my friends, is a powerful force. But what if I told you that it's not something you have to fear? What if I told you that fear could actually be your ally in the pursuit of your goals? The first step to overcoming fear is understanding that fear is not something to be avoided or suppressed. In fact, fear is often an indicator that you're about to do something that will help you grow. It's a signal that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens. The key to conquering fear is to reframe it. When you feel that surge of anxiety or doubt, shift your perception. Instead of thinking of fear as a negative force, recognize it as a sign that you're on the brink of an exciting challenge or opportunity. Fear and excitement are essentially the same energy. It's the meaning you attach to it that makes the difference. When you feel fear rising, ask yourself what would happen if I approach this with the same excitement I feel before a thrilling experience. This mental shift can transform your fear into energy that drives you forward instead of holding you back. In fact, one of the most successful strategies I've taught over the years is to use fear as fuel. When you feel fear, don't run from it. Lean into it and let it push you to take massive action. The more you confront your fears, the more empowered you become. You'll begin to realize that the things you were once terrified of are simply stepping stones to your success. The most successful people in the world are not those who have lived without fear, but those who have learned to face their fear head on and use it to propel themselves toward their dreams. Fear is an invitation to expand, to go beyond what you think is possible, and to do things that will change your life forever. So next time you feel that fear, embrace it, reframe it, and use it as the energy that propels you into action. When you do this, you will not only overcome fear, you will transform it into the force that drives your success. Fear isn't something to be feared. It's the very thing that will help you grow if you allow it to. When fear takes over, it often creates a feeling of being stuck, paralyzed in the moment. You can break free from this paralysis by mastering your state, your mental and emotional state. If you're feeling fearful, the first thing you need to do is change how you're feeling right now. You cannot think your way out of fear by simply reasoning with it or analyzing it. You have to change your physical state because the mind and body are intricately connected. How you feel physically will directly influence how you feel emotionally. If you feel fear, your body tightens, your breath becomes shallow, and your heart races. In that moment, if you change your posture, if you stand tall, take deep breaths, and engage your body in a powerful way, you're sending signals to your brain that change the entire chemistry of your experience. Think about the power of taking a few deep breaths. When you take control of your breath, you send a message to your subconscious mind, I am in charge here. When you stand tall and use expansive body language, you are triggering a shift in your emotional state. I've taught thousands of people to use a physical movement called the power pose, standing like a winner. Chest out, shoulders back, head held high. This simple change in body posture floods your body with positive hormones like testosterone, and it lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. These small shifts in your physical state can completely change the way you perceive and respond to fear. But it doesn't stop there. You can also use your voice, your energy, your presence to shift your state. When you're in fear, you tend to speak with a weak voice or even remain silent. But when you choose to speak powerfully, to speak with conviction, even if you don't feel like it, you'll notice that your internal state starts to align with the energy of your words. The more you practice these techniques, the more automatic it becomes to flip the switch in moments of fear. Ultimately, fear doesn't stand a chance when you take command of your state. By mastering your body, your breath, and your voice, you gain the power to overcome fear in any moment. It's in your control. When you're able to manage your physical and emotional state, you're no longer a prisoner to fear. You're free to act, to move forward, and to embrace the growth that lies on the other side of fear. The next time you're faced with a moment of fear, just take control of your state. Change your posture, change your breathing, and watch how quickly your fear fades away. Fear thrives in the unknown and uncertainty and often in indecision. One of the most powerful ways to overcome fear is to take action, any action. It doesn't matter if it's small. Action breaks the inertia. When you feel fear, most people freeze, overthink, and allow the fear to escalate. But the moment you take action, you begin to shift the entire dynamic. You've taken control, you've moved past the mental block, and suddenly fear becomes less of a threat. What often happens when we face fear is that we start overthinking. We imagine worst-case scenarios and let our mind spiral out of control. But action disrupts that cycle. The more you sit still in fear, the more it grows. But the moment you make the decision to act, even if the action seems insignificant, you break the hold fear has over you. You prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort, that you're capable of taking control, and that fear doesn't own you. One of the simplest ways to take action is to break the task or challenge into smaller steps. You don't need to climb the whole mountain at once. Just take one step. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be a start. I think of action as a tool for building momentum. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take that step, the next one becomes easier. And soon you're no longer paralyzed by fear, you're moving forward, building confidence with every step you take. I always tell my clients that massive action is a key to achieving success. Action creates momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. It pushes you forward even when you don't feel like it. When you act, you also learn from your experiences. Even if you stumble or make mistakes along the way, you're still moving, still progressing, and that's the key to getting past your fears. The key is not perfection, but motion. Fear feeds on hesitation, on waiting for the perfect time. So if you're ever caught in the grip of fear, take a single step, no matter how small. Make the call, start the project, speak the words. Taking action will give you the power to move past your fears and create momentum in your life. The longer you wait, the bigger the fear becomes. But once you act, you've already won. Fear loses its grip and you gain the power to keep moving forward. Fear is often rooted in our beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves about what is possible or impossible. We all have beliefs that shape the way we see the world, and unfortunately, many of these beliefs are limiting. These beliefs can create barriers and keep us locked in a box, too scared to act on our desires. But here's the truth, the only limits you have are the ones you place on yourself. If you want to overcome fear, you must first address the beliefs that are fueling it. The key is to recognize that beliefs are not facts. They're just interpretations of experiences or situations, and they can be changed. For example, if you believe that failure is something to be feared, you're essentially holding yourself back from trying new things. But what if you could reframe that belief? What if you could view failure as a stepping stone, as a learning experience that ultimately moves you closer to success? That shift in mindset is the game changer. Now, let's look at how to challenge and replace those limiting beliefs. The first step is awareness. You have to identify the beliefs that are holding you back. Are you telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that the world is too competitive? Recognize these thoughts and realize that they are just stories your mind is creating. Once you're aware of them, you can replace them with empowering beliefs. Instead of "I'm not good enough," you can adopt "I am capable of learning and improving every day." Instead of "I will fail," replace it with "every challenge I face is an opportunity to grow." Rewiring your beliefs takes practice, but it's possible. The more you repeat these empowering thoughts, the more they become ingrained in your mind, and the less fear will hold you back. Remember, it's not the absence of fear that makes you successful, it's the ability to act despite fear. When you shift your beliefs from limiting to empowering, you'll notice a profound difference in how you respond to fear. So to overcome fear, take control of your beliefs. Stop giving power to the stories that limit you and start replacing them with beliefs that empower you. The more you do this, the less fear will stand in your way. Your beliefs shape your reality, make them work for you, not against you. When you change your beliefs, you change your life. One of the most powerful ways to overcome fear is to visualize success. The human mind doesn't differentiate between a vivid mental image and a real experience. That's why when you imagine a positive outcome, you start to rewire your brain to believe that success is not only possible, but inevitable. Visualization allows you to see yourself succeeding in the face of fear, and in doing so, you reduce the uncertainty that often triggers anxiety. When you visualize, you are literally training your brain. Your mind doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined experiences. If you visualize yourself performing confidently in a challenging situation, whether it's speaking in front of a crowd, acing an interview, or confronting a difficult challenge, it primes your mind for success. You begin to feel more comfortable and capable in those situations, and when they arise, you'll be less likely to be overwhelmed by fear because your mind has already seen you succeed. I encourage people to not only visualize the end result, but to also visualize the process. Imagine the steps you'll take, the actions you'll perform, and the small victories along the way. This builds confidence as you've mentally rehearsed every step and imagined yourself overcoming every obstacle. By doing this, you are preparing your body and mind to face those challenges head on with the belief that you can handle them. Visualization is more than just a tool for success, it's also a powerful tool for overcoming fear. Fear often arises from the unknown. When you visualize, you are creating a sense of familiarity with success. You begin to see yourself as capable of handling the very situations that once intimidated you. This familiarity breeds comfort and lessens the grip that fear holds over you. I've seen it time and again, the difference between people who succeed and those who don't is often not talent or resources, but their ability to visualize and act. Visualization isn't just about seeing what's possible, it's about feeling what success feels like. And when you combine that mental clarity with the courage to act, fear no longer controls you. It becomes a tool, an indicator that you are on the right path, and you learn to step into it with confidence. So if you want to break through your fears, begin by visualizing the success you desire. Picture yourself in that moment of victory and feel the emotions of accomplishment. When you do this consistently, you will reduce fear's power over you, and success will become a natural result of your efforts. Taking action is one of the most powerful ways to overcome fear. Too often, fear keeps us stuck, immobilized by thoughts of failure or the unknown. But the truth is that fear shrinks when you take decisive action. Action breaks the cycle of overthinking and doubt, which is exactly what fear thrives on. When you do something, even if it's a small step, you are actively telling your brain that it's not in control, that you are in charge. Fear has no power over action. In the moment of fear, you may feel paralyzed, unsure of what to do. But the best way to shift your mindset is to act. Don't wait for the fear to disappear before you take action. The longer you wait, the more fear will grow. But when you take action, you begin to move past the discomfort, and the fear starts to lose its grip. The key here is momentum. Once you start moving, you create forward motion that continues to build on itself. Every step you take toward overcoming your fear makes the next one easier. I always tell people that massive action is the key to overcoming fear. When you make a decision to take bold, massive action, you force yourself to move beyond the fear that paralyzes you. Think about it. When you're afraid of something, it often feels bigger in your mind than it actually is in reality. By taking action, you confront the fear directly, and suddenly it's not as daunting. It's as if you've pulled back the curtain on the illusion of fear and found out it's much smaller than you imagined. And here's the thing, action doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter if it's a small, imperfect step. What matters is that you're moving forward. With every action, you gain clarity, confidence, and experience. Even if you make mistakes along the way, you're still learning, growing, and building resilience. It's not about getting it right every time, it's about committing to progress. So when fear comes knocking, don't wait for it to go away. Take action. Even if it's a small step, it creates momentum. And that momentum will push you through the fear. Remember, fear doesn't control you, you control it through the actions you take. The more you act, the more fear shrinks and the bigger your success becomes.